Hey everybody, great to have you back here in the fish tank. It's time for our monthly look at the Minion Masters financial figures. Now, if you're wondering why we're doing that, it's because the game is set up at the moment, so as long as it makes enough money to cover its costs, it will continue to do so. And the devs have said that any money over and above that is made to cover the costs will go into a banked pot, and then that can be used in the future to cover the costs when maybe the game isn't making enough money. Now, just a quick reminder, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up to date with everything Minion Masters related. And we're going to dive in to our spreadsheet. Now, I'll put a link in the description so you can check out this spreadsheet, should you wish to. They do update it every month, so you can keep following along with the data. And really what we're interested in here is our monthly costs. So you can see our different months. We're up to July, so the data we have so far is for July. We should get the data for August soonish. So we're looking at monthly costs of about $3,200. And as an example, for the month of July, the game made $9,770. And you can see here the breakdown between Steam, Xbox, and Android. So for the month of July, the game made a profit of £6,500. Now, we also have our banked revenue here, which you can see, which we're currently at $54,000 of banked revenue. So that's the money that's been made over and above the monthly costs of $3,200 each month. Now, when we did the last month, the figures were unconfirmed. They have been since confirmed for June, and the good news is they went up only a little bit. So TLDR, the game is still making 3 times as much money as it needs to cover itself. So the future of the game from that point of view is positive. Now, we are of course building up this banked revenue, and it's getting bigger and bigger each month. So we need to, maybe start thinking about with the devs, what can we do regarding that? Okay, so what I thought would be interesting to do is, a few months ago, I looked at the forecast function, just a basic forecast function, plugged in the data and just said, based on what we've seen for the last however months, what is the forecast? How long are we expecting this to go on for? It seemed like a good idea at the time, but the figures that's coming up are quite crazy, and positively crazy in a good way, because basically we can see here the game is still making money and it's not dropping off. So there's not a big downward trend that we can extrapolate. The trend is pretty flat. Overall, maybe dropping a little bit, but not very much. So let's just have a look at the forecast here. So the green, this is based on our data. And of course, each month we have another set of data, so our forecast can get potentially more accurate. But of course, remember, it's just a forecast. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We're just simply plugging in a few figures and asking the computer to figure out where we're going to go on. So this is where it gets a little bit crazy. So just basically, we've got our columns here. So we've got our date, our month numerically, the profit for each month, and the banked profit. Okay, and then after the green section, we've used the forecast. Okay, so we forecast it. So last month, based on the data, it suggested that in March 29, that is where the game was going to break even. So it's going to be making as much as it was costing each month. And then based on that point going onwards, we would start dipping into the banked revenue. But that was last month. Of course, we have an extra month, so our forecast has changed, and it's an extra month and it's a strong month. So you can see here again, based on last month's figures, it was estimated forecast that the game would run out of money in August of 2034. But as I said, we have another strong month, so our forecast has changed. And this is where it gets a little bit insane. So based on our forecast, it suggests that the game is going to break even now in October 2036, right? That's where it's going to be basically not making any profit each month. And it says at that point, the game's going to have banked up $451,000 of revenue. These figures just seem insane, but it's just the forecast based on the figures we've got. So, of course, from that point onward, we're going to start dipping into the banked revenue, and eventually the game, based on the forecast, is going to start making no money, which is when we get down to this part here, where basically we're losing our full cost each month, And then again, we extrapolate that down until we run out of money entirely. And this says the game's going to run out of money in August of 2051. Crazy. I don't know if this forecast is of any use at all. We only have a small data set, and each month we get more data, we can forecast more, but that is what the forecast is saying. The game looks like it's going to go on forever, which is good news, right? We're enjoying it. People are obviously enjoying it. People are enjoying it enough to put money into it, despite it not providing any new content. But of course, no new content is a big deal for experienced players. Newer players, it doesn't really affect so much because they've already got a whole game's worth of new content to look forward to. So yeah, that's where we are. The game is still making good money, and interesting to see where it goes, but it's not going anywhere for now. Guys, thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. Are you surprised about these figures? Are you not surprised? What do you think we should do with the money that's been built up? And of course, if you're new here, so let's hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future awkward waves.